There was a boy named Kofi who lived in a small hut with his wicked stepmother. His father was a merchant and was always away on business trips, leaving Kofi vulnerable to his stepmother's cruelty. She would often withhold food from him and force him to sleep outside in the cold, all while spoiling her own children. But Kofi never lost hope. He was determined to study hard and become successful. Years passed, and Kofi eventually became a successful doctor, living in the city. But one day, he received a call from his hometown, informing him that his stepmother was critically ill and needed medical attention. Without hesitation, Kofi returned to his village and found his stepmother lying on her deathbed. He could sense the fear in her eyes and the regret in her voice when she finally spoke. "Please forgive me for all the wrongs I've done to you," she whispered. "I never meant to hurt you like that." But Kofi knew it was too late. As he tended to her, he couldn't shake the feeling of revenge that had been brewing inside him for years. And so, he made a decision that would turn his stepmother's life into a nightmare. He performed a series of experiments that he had been curious about for some time. He used his knowledge of medicine to keep his stepmother alive despite her deteriorating health. Her body became weak and frail, but she was still conscious and aware of everything that was happening to her. She begged Kofi to stop torturing her, but Kofi was fueled by the deep-seated anger he had harbored for years, and he was determined to make his stepmother suffer the way she made him suffer. As time passed, Kofi's stepmother slowly started to recover, but her body was never the same. Kofi realized that revenge would do him no good and that forgiveness was the only way to move on from the past. He spent hours talking to her, holding her hand, and helping her to recover. Slowly but surely, she started to open up to him and apologized for all the wrongs she had done. Kofi forgave her and knew that it was time for him to let go of the anger and hatred he had been holding onto for years. He knew that the forgiveness would bring peace to both of them. Eventually, Kofi's stepmother healed completely, and the two of them reconciled. They started to live together, with Kofi taking care of her like a son should. The villagers were amazed at the transformation they saw in the two, and Kofi became a well-respected man in his community. It was a beautiful thing to see, forgiveness and love overcoming hatred and anger that had been harbored for years.